The night my daughter refused to give me food, I realized something that shattered my heart more than any loss I had ever experienced. I wasn't a stranger. I wasn't a beggar. I was her father. And yet on Christmas Eve, while the table was full and laughter filled the room, I stood there like someone who didn't belong. No one knew that the quiet old man they had just humiliated would make a decision that would change their lives forever. A decision that would teach them a lesson they would never forget. But before I tell you what happened next, you need to understand who I am. Welcome to my YouTube channel Whisper Stories, where silence speaks. My name is Addison, and I am 70 years old. People often believe that when a man reaches 70, life finally becomes quiet. They imagine a gentle routine, morning coffee by the window, slow walks through familiar streets, memories that warm the heart more than they hurt it. At 70, a man is supposed to be finished with the battles of life. But sometimes the deepest wounds are not given by strangers. Sometimes they come from the people you once carried in your arms. And sometimes they come on Christmas Eve. The night everything changed. That Christmas Eve began like every other one I had celebrated for nearly 5 decades. Snow rested softly on the rooftops, and the air smelled like pine trees and wood smoke. I had spent most of the afternoon preparing small gifts, nothing expensive, just thoughtful things. A knitted scarf for my granddaughter, a book for my grandson, and a small silver bracelet for my daughter, Emily. Emily had always loved simple jewelry when she was young. I remembered the way she used to run to me when I came home from work, her tiny hands wrapped around my legs. "Daddy, what did you bring me today?" Back then, the answer didn't matter. It was enough that I was there. But time has a strange way of changing people. And sometimes it changes them in ways you never expect. A house that no longer felt like home. My daughter Emily had invited the whole family for Christmas dinner that year. Since my wife Margaret passed away 5 years earlier, the holidays had become harder for me. Margaret had been the glue that held our family together. Without her, the house felt too quiet. The laughter felt distant. The warmth of family gatherings seemed thinner somehow. Still, I looked forward to Christmas Eve dinner. I shaved carefully that evening, put on my best sweater, and wrapped my coat tightly around me as I walked the few blocks to Emily's house. The lights were glowing warmly in her windows. From outside, it looked like the perfect Christmas. Inside, it was something else entirely. The words that broke me. When I stepped into the house, the smell of roasted turkey and cinnamon filled the air. My grandchildren were laughing in the living room, and Christmas music played softly in the background. For a moment, I felt happy. Truly happy. Emily greeted me quickly, but her smile seemed forced. "Hi, Dad," she said. "Hi, sweetheart," I replied gently. I placed the gifts under the tree and sat quietly in the corner while everyone prepared for dinner. Eventually, Emily's husband, Mark, called everyone to the table. Everyone took their seats. Everyone except me. I stood there awkwardly, unsure where to sit. Then Emily looked at me and said words I will never forget for the rest of my life. "Dad, maybe you should wait." I blinked in confusion. "Wait for what?" She crossed her arms and sighed. "For dinner." The room fell silent. My grandson looked at her, confused. "So Grandpa isn't eating?" Emily spoke again, her voice colder this time. "Well, he didn't contribute anything to the dinner. Everyone else brought something." I felt my chest tighten. I didn't know I was supposed to," I said quietly. She shrugged. "It's only fair, Dad. Food is expensive." For a moment, I couldn't speak. After everything I had done for her, after every sacrifice, after decades of raising her, feeding her, protecting her, I was being denied a plate of food. On Christmas Eve. A long walk in the snow. I didn't argue. I didn't yell. I simply picked up my coat. My granddaughter tried to stop me. "Grandpa, where is you going?" I forced a small smile. "It's all right, sweetheart. Grandpa just remembered he has somewhere else to be." I walked out into the cold night without another word. The snow crunched beneath my shoes as I slowly made my way home. Each step felt heavier than the last. At 70 years old, you think you've experienced every kind of pain life can offer. But betrayal from your own child, that kind of pain is different. It sits quietly inside your chest and whispers a terrible question. Where did I go wrong? Memories of sacrifice. That night, I sat alone at my small kitchen table. I made myself a simple sandwich and poured a cup of tea. And as I sat there, memories flooded my mind. I remembered working 2 jobs when Emily was a child. I remembered selling my old car to pay for her college tuition. I remembered standing beside her on her wedding day, fighting back tears as I gave her away. Everything I had done, I did for her. Every long night, every sacrifice, every dream I set aside. And now, at 70 years old, I was apparently just another guest who hadn't contributed. Something inside me changed that night. Not anger, not hatred, just clarity. The quiet plan. Over the next few weeks, I thought carefully about what had happened. Emily never called to apologize. Not once. No message. No visit. It was as if nothing unusual had happened. But something had changed in me. For years, I had quietly supported my daughter's family. I paid their property taxes when they struggled. I covered medical bills. I even helped them renovate their house. They never knew the full extent of it. Because I never asked for recognition. But after Christmas Eve, I decided something important. If my value to them was measured by contribution, then I would simply change where my contributions went. The unexpected announcement. 3 months later, I invited the entire family to my house for dinner. Emily seemed surprised when she arrived. "Dad, what's the occasion?" I smiled calmly. "Oh, just something I wanted to share with everyone." We ate dinner together. This time, everyone had a plate. When the meal ended, I stood slowly and cleared my throat. "I have an announcement to make." Everyone looked at me. I continued calmly. "As you know, I'm 70 years old, and I've been thinking a lot about what kind of legacy I want to leave behind." Emily looked curious. "So, what did you decide?" I folded my hands. "I've decided to donate most of my savings and my house to a local children's charity." The room went silent. Emily stared at me. "You're giving away your house?" "Yes." "And your savings?" "Yes." Her voice suddenly rose. "But Dad, that was supposed to be our inheritance." I looked at her quietly. Then I said the words she once said to me. "Well, I decided to give it to people who truly need it." The silence in the room was heavy. But I wasn't finished. The final lesson. I looked directly at my daughter. "You see, Emily, that Christmas Eve taught me something very important." She swallowed nervously. "What?" "That family shouldn't be measured by what someone contributes financially." My voice remained calm. For 70 years, I believed that love, sacrifice, and loyalty were enough. I paused. But apparently, contribution matters more. Emily looked down at the table. Tears filled her eyes. "Dad, I didn't mean." I gently raised my hand. "It's all right." And strangely enough, it truly was. Because in that moment, I felt lighter than I had in years. Not because I had hurt my daughter, but because I had finally stopped allowing myself to be taken for granted. What happened after? A few weeks later, Emily came to visit me alone. She cried. She apologized. She admitted she had been wrong. And perhaps she truly meant it. I forgave her, because holding on to anger only poisons the heart. But the charity donation remained. Not as revenge, but as a reminder. A reminder that love must be respected, not exploited. Moral of the story. At 70 years old, I learned a lesson many people never understand. Respect should never depend on money, gifts, or contribution. True family values the presence of a person, not the price of their plate. Because one day, when the table is full and the chairs are occupied, you may suddenly realize the person you pushed away was the one who loved you the most. And by then, it might be too late.